What's up? I'm kind of a hot mess today. Just going to be straightforward with you. I had a peanut butter and jelly for lunch. Mama doesn't eat peanut butter and jelly. That's the kind of day I'm having. It's not been a bad day. It's been a good day. And what our topic today is, the world is happening for you, not to you. So I'm just like in the middle of the floor in my room. I don't have any makeup on. My nails are jacked up. I'm coming real. I'm coming real today. So my kids had dentist appointments. And you know, when you schedule a dentist appointment 6 months ago and there's 3 of them, you kind of forget about it until you get that message like a couple days before. And you're like, oh shit, I've got things I'm supposed to do at that time. Things have changed in the past 6 months. So I'm rushing back. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm like a half hour late, but I didn't want to speed. I wanted to keep my kids safe. So here I am coming to you, asking for your grace. How you doing? How are things going for you? Tell me in the comments what's going on with you. How is life treating you? How are you treating life is the better question. So I have a story for you, and always know that these stories that I tell you can always be applied to the sports world, because that is where I am right now. I have immersed myself in the sports world, which is totally fucking magical to me, because I never thought that I would be doing a podcast on an amazing friend from high school's sports network. Like, that is super cool and magical. And so let me just tell you, before I tell you that story, let me just tell you this story, if you don't know. When I decided that the world was happening for me and not to me, magical things started to shift around me. When I decided to focus on all of the amazing things that were happening for me in my world, more magic started to happen. My world started to shift around me because it shifted in here and in my heart first. And so, you know, I started this Facebook gig, this business, where I go live quite often on my Facebook page. I'm Monica Painter. Go check me out on Facebook. Super fun. Lots of super high vibe content. Some of it's woo woo, pretty mind blowing, but you know, if you want to go there, why not? Don't be scared. But then Dan reached out to me and he was like, I'm kind of watching you, and I like what you're doing. I like the vibe that you're bringing. Would you want to do a podcast on my sports network? And I was like, what? Like, mind blown, super honored, super excited just to step into a different realm, a different space, because it's a different audience. And like, I want to be able to work with everyone, right? I want to be able to mix it up. I want to be able to actively apply what I am doing in my life to every realm of life, because it is all connected. It is all connected. The shit that you see, the beautiful things that you see going on in your life also spill over into every other area of your life, whether it's sports, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your business, your job, all of it. It's all connected. There is no disconnection, because we're living in this beautiful web of synchronicity, right? Like synchronicities, when coincidences happen. Synchronicity is a better word than coincidence, because when you call it a synchronicity, you acknowledge the universe's plan, that it's all woven together. A coincidence is like, you know, something that's randomly happened, but nothing is random. Nothing is random. And when we realize that everything in our life is unfolding exactly how it should and exactly how we are creating it, then we take our power back. And when we actively acknowledge that the world is happening for us and not to us, you take your power back. and you start creating your world with intention. And it sounds like crazy if you've never heard of this before. And I remember when I first was introduced to this mindset work and really asking the universe for what I needed and what I wanted, and really being clear about my intentions and clear about my desires. And I was amazed at how things started to shift around me. It's super, super amazing. And the universe loves acknowledgement. God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe loves acknowledgement. Okay, so I want to tell you about a specific story at my house, and then we're going to step into sports. So my air conditioner, I didn't go live last week on Tuesday because my air conditioner was broken. And my house is a decent size. I've got 3 kids. Like, we need 4 rooms. It's upstairs and downstairs. And so you know how even when your AC is working good downstairs, upstairs it's usually still kind of hot, right? You got to crank that shit up. Well, the AC was blowing hot air, and I was like, please no. And this is when it was super hot. It was like 90 degrees. And the previous version of Monica, I don't want to say the old Monica, the previous version of Monica would have like really gone into a tailspin about this and really got upset about it and would have you can probably hear me, but not see me. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. What the heck? Okay, I'm just going to try to use my shitty camera on my computer. Unmute. What the fuck? Okay. I think I'm in a good space now. Sorry about that. Okay, so back to the air conditioner. So the air conditioner went out, and I was like, oh no, the air conditioner's out. But then I thought, now wait a minute, we can reframe this. In what way does this serve me? How is this happening for me and not to me? And boom, I took my power back. I didn't feel like I was going to go into a tailspin about it. And I mean, we're healthy people. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. My kids acted like it was the end of the world. But it really wasn't that big of a deal. There are people who are really hot all the time that are in unsafe situations. And we're like young, healthy people over here with a broken AC. It's not that fucking big of a deal. And so I thought, but I took it further. Like, I didn't just resign to the fact that it was happening. It's not a big deal. I'm going to get it fixed. Just roll with it. I took it a step further, and I thought, how is this serving me? Like, what's the plan here? Because for some reason, this circumstance is unfolding. And how, in what way does it serve me? Again, you take your power back when you look at things like that. And so what actually happened is the air conditioner didn't get fixed for quite some time. I mean, it was days before I could get anyone out here to fix the AC. And, but this is what happened. Like, togetherness. We were all together. All of our bedrooms are upstairs, and it was hot as hell upstairs. Nobody was hanging out upstairs. We were all downstairs with the windows open and a fan going, but we were together. We were all together downstairs hanging out as a family. And with a 14, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old, there's a lot of people doing their own thing a lot of the time. We're pretty intentional about coming together, but, you know, I'll be real with you. This is kind of a typical-ish household when it comes to that, right? Like, people are doing their own thing. Kids want their privacy. So we were all together. It was great. We were all together downstairs. It was like a fresh new space, because we usually hang out in the back of the house, which is we have kind of 2 living room areas. And we ended up in a new space in the front where it was coolest, new energy. And it was all of us together as a unit. And it was really fun. We were doing different things that we hadn't done before. We were interacting in a way that we hadn't interacted in the past before. The windows were open. There were locusts at the time. So we were listening to the locusts, and it's a healing energy. Any nature sound emits a healing frequency. And so we were immersed in that. Like, we were heavily grounded in the heat and humidity and the beautiful sounds of nature because the windows were open. Where if the air conditioner was working, we would have been in our own space, doing our own thing with the windows closed, not hearing nature. And so it served us. It absolutely served us. And so, like, how do we apply that to other realms of our life? How do we apply that to the sports world? How do we apply that to our business life, to our relation, to like even our romantic relationships? Like, all of this, when you start looking at things from a higher perspective, and not only do you trust and take a deep breath and accept the circumstances, because what else can you do? Push against it? And what does that create? Resistance. What else can you do but trust? Be fearful? Because what does that do? It creates more fear. And you just create more resistance. So when you accept and trust, and then take it a step further and say, how is this serving me? I mean, that is amazing. For an athlete to learn to do that in a sports setting, where it's a very passionate setting, if we can equip our kids with this type of mindset in the sports world, they carry that with them through their entire lives. Their entire lives. And so let's say, for instance, we'll use James as an example. He played baseball, and they lost a lot of games. They won a lot of games, but they lost a lot of games too. And when there was a loss, you can either like be that parent that gets very emotional with the child, right? And really feeds into the loss. Or you can be like, shit happens. You lost, but what did you learn? And so you resign to the fact that, okay, this is what it is. I am where I am, and that is okay. We lost the game. Shit happens. Are you allowed to be emotional? Of course. Because our kids are passionate about their sports. They're passionate about what they're doing. And that's good. Healthy competition, that's beautiful. That's amazing. That is equipping them and allowing them to express their emotions and allowing us to provide empathy for them so that they don't hold on to those emotions for the rest of their life. So that they process these emotions and move them through their body. You empathize and love them through it, and boom, that's growth. But then not only do you accept, okay, it's cool, I am where I am, it is what it is, it's all good. But then you say, okay, let's take it a step further and what did I learn? What did I learn? And that moves you through the emotion and into the logic and into higher level thinking. And then that's fucking massive growth. That's massive growth for their lives that they can take with them for the rest of their lives. And so it's like, as parents, as coaches, as adults, we either breed these environments of massive support and growth and higher level thinking that our kids get to take with them to school, to their colleges, to their relationships, or we breed kind of the old paradigm, the old way of thinking that is very self-centered and very much centered in victimhood. And I'm not saying that necessarily sports are always like this. I'm saying that in general, society, this is what it teaches us. This society teaches us to become a victim. Society teaches us that we're not leaders, that we're followers. Well, that's bullshit. Like, we are all born leaders. We were born to lead. We all have our zone of genius. We all have our expertise. You just have to tap into it. You have to take the time to find it and take the time to foster it in your children, because we all have it. And when we find that, we find this level of comfort, whether it's a sport, whether it's a subject, whether it's something artistic, right? And then we tap into that. It is our comfort zone. It is where we feel most alive and the safest. And we find a way to express that to the world around us. And as we tap into that, we shift the world around us. And the world is happening for us and not to us. And that championship loss is happening for us and not to us, because we never gave our power away. We never gave our power away. We accepted, we didn't resign, right? There's a difference. Like accepting where you are and accepting what has occurred is totally different than like resigning to it, right? You say, okay, it is what it is. Now, how do I grow from this? What is the growth? And boom, you take your power back. What is the growth here? Does that make sense? Well, I'm going to make this short since I was late and I feel like I'm a little behind on my day. That's okay. I hope that you all have an absolutely amazing day. I'm always here to remind you that you are powerful beyond measure. You are absolutely amazing, that you have something unique, special, and divine to offer the world, that your frequency, your child's frequency, your athlete's frequency, it is unique in every single way. There is absolutely no one that has specifically what you have. And so find your power within that. And don't compare. There's just no need to compare yourself to anyone. Don't compare yourself to another athlete, another weightlifter that is an athlete, but, another nurse, another mom, another father, another coach, because what you have is specific to offer the world. What you have is specific to offer a specific group of people. Your frequency matches them. And this is why we don't compare, because there's no point in it. Because my frequency is for some and your frequency is for some. Have a great day. This has been nice. I feel centered again to have this conversation. I would like to consider this kind of my zone of genius, because it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love to talk about. Mindset work, approaching things from a higher perspective. And if you ever need to just chat about something, if you ever want to throw a comment in, I'm always happy to respond and just give you a little bit of input, a little bit of love, a little bit of encouragement, because that's why I came. I came to encourage, I came to uplift, and I came to love. So I love you so much. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.